Oh hey, what are you doing there? You want to know how Rob plays this? Okay, just stay with me. I will explain you.
Rob's lesson on guitar slap is one of the reasons that made me buy this 8-string guitar, which is amazing by the way. And the first thing that I did when I got back from the shop was to watch the video and try to play along. Although some parts were a bit hard to understand and I had to slow down the tape and figure out what Rob was doing, especially like the hardest exercises. So I decided to make this video and maybe other people won't have to pass through the same process. Before starting, for the sound I suggest you to use a clean tone or a slight distortion and quite a bit of compression so that you can properly hear the ghost notes that you're playing. I will just follow the same order of the original video, which is divided in two parts. The first is an explanation on how to use all the techniques, and the second is how to combine these techniques together. During the video, Rob plays from 130 to 140 BPM, and I will try to do the same to show you. The first exercises are already very well explained, so I'll just go through very quickly. The first technique is the slap with your thumb. You have to hit the string that you want to play, like flicking your wrist, like this. And with the other hand, you mute the strings that you don't want to play. In the first exercise, you're slapping on the empty 8th string while muting all the other strings, like this. This is the lick played at 75 BPM, which is about half of the speed, so that you can better understand how to do it, and I will show you better how to put your fingers. In the first exercise, as I said, I'm hitting the A string with my thumb and keeping all the other notes muted with my index finger, and this is it. In the second exercise, the left hand is more involved because you have to play like a bass line, like this. In this exercise, I'm slapping on the 8th string and on the 6th string. And I'm using my middle and ring finger to play the notes, while I use my index finger to keep the strings muted, especially the 7th string. And this is how I do it. Rob also plays some variations to this that I'm just going to show you quickly, although once you get how to do it, you can do your own variations. In the third exercise, there's a new technique involved. Basically, you're producing ghost notes with your left hand. Place your index finger on the fretboard without pressing to mute the strings and use the other fingers to hit the neck, like this. Rob does it with all the other fingers. I prefer to do it without the pinky. It doesn't make much difference, and this is the exercise. In the third exercise, I'm now using my right hand, and with the left hand, I'm, as I said, muting all the strings with my index finger and hitting the neck with the middle and ring finger. The fourth exercise is a combination of the two previous techniques, and with the thumb you're hitting lower and higher notes to make different sounds, like this. Also in this case, remember not to let the strings ring out, And this is the exercise. As I said, I hit different strings with my thumb to make different sounds, while I'm doing always the same movement with the other hand, but at different speeds. This is how it goes. In the next exercise, another technique is introduced, which is the pop with your index and middle finger. Actually, this technique can be divided in two parts. There's a pre-pop, because you are already making a ghost note if you want when you're placing your finger on the fretboard. And then the other part is the actual pop. So you get two ghost notes with two different sounds, like this. Once you get used to the new technique, it is combined in the exercise with the previous ones, like this. This is how to do the pop technique. In the pre-pop, I saw that Rob also uses the thumb to produce like a thicker ghost note, thicker sound. This is how the whole exercise goes. I decided to switch the next two exercises because this one is easier. This one introduces the concept of the octave, and like Rob says, you're playing a note on the 8th string, and on the 6th string, 2 frets higher, you get the same note but 1 octave higher. This can also be applied, for instance, to 7th and 5th strings or 6th and 4th string, it's the same. The next exercise is a chromatic lick, so you're playing the octave, which is a B note, and then a B flat. And you're repeating the same sequence twice, like this. So here I am playing the 5th and 4th fret on the 8th string with my index finger, while I'm using my ring finger to play the 7th and the 6th on the 6th string. While I play the 8th string, I use my index finger to mute all the others, and I also mute the 5th string with my ring finger while I play the 6th one. This is how the exercise goes. The next exercise is the last for this video, and all the techniques that we learned are applied to a very cool lick, which can be divided in two parts. The first one is the loop of the same measure, and here you have to pay a lot of attention to mute all the strings that you don't want to play, both when slapping and popping. Especially at one point you have to pop playing the empty 6th string, and that might be a bit tricky at the beginning, but then it's just a matter of practice. You can do it like this. And the first part sounds like this. And I believe Rob plays it 3 times, if you want to know. The second part is a chromatic ascension, which keeps a similar structure with slight embellishments and changes, which I think were not studied, like Rob was like improvising. Anyway, I will show it to you as he plays. So this is the second part of the exercise. Actually, in this exercise, the rhythmic pattern is very similar to the one of the previous exercises, but you have to put a lot of attention in not to let the string ring out. And especially, it's hard, as I said before, when you play the 6th string, so I use my index finger to mute all the others below. Also, when you slap on the 8th string, then you have to mute it after and on time with the left hand. This is the first part of the exercise. In the second part of the exercise, like in the previous one, I am using my index to fret the 8th string and mute all the others, and also I'm using the ring finger to mute the 5th string. And this is how the second part goes. And of course, Rob does all of this while keeping the rhythm with his feet, which is like fantastic, and especially while talking, which makes all of this much harder. He's great. So this was the first part of the video. In the next weeks I will upload the second part where Rob plays like less bass inspired licks that maybe are more comfortable on the guitar, like this. So if you like this video, please subscribe so you know when I'm publishing new videos, and especially so I don't feel like I'm wasting time doing this. And thank you for watching again, and I see you next time.